And to play now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Let's Chumba. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. It's here. King of the Hill and WD-40 brand present the limited edition King of the Hill WD-40 Collector's Can. Available now exclusively at the Home Depot, in-store and online. How many are you grabbing? One for you, one for your dad, and one for every Hank in your life. Get your King of the Hill WD-40 Collector's Can today before they're gone. Watch the new season of the Hulu original King of the Hill on July 20th. Streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. Available nationwide for a limited time while supplies last. Availability varies by location and online.
This July 4th, come celebrate at America's Block Party, hosted by America 250. America's Block Party is a can't-miss 4th of July concert happening at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Experience music performances from major artists, patriotic tributes, and the kickoff to Giving Fourth, helping to make July 4th the largest day of giving in American history. It's more than just fireworks. Learn more about this landmark celebration at america250.org.
Joy is essential, and it's also elusive. But now, there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. If you're craving inspiration, support, and useful tools to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Listen to Joy 101 on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Joy 101 and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know that pile of clothes you've been meaning to deal with? Yeah, same. That's why I love Trashy. It's the easiest way to clean out your closet, send your clothes somewhere better, and actually get rewarded for it. No more letting things sit around or wondering what to do with them. You just fill up a take-back bag with clothes you don't wear anymore. Send it in, and Trashy takes care of the rest, keeping it out of landfills and giving it a second life. It's such a simple way to feel good about clearing space and doing something better for the planet. And here's the best part. You earn cash rewards back for every bag you send, which makes it even easier to stay consistent. You can check it out at trashy.io. Plus, with Trashy Unlimited, you can get unlimited bags for just $48 your first year. An easy at-home cleanout system so you can stay on top of it all year long. Clean out, donate, earn rewards. Head to trashy.io to get started today.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, we have extra big deals for a very limited time, so you can get Dad the gift he's been wishing for. Get a free Select Craftsman, DeWalt, or Cobalt battery when you buy a Select Combo Kit. Plus, save $90 on a Cobalt 24-volt battery string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now $129. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal.
Welcome to a special edition of Longhorns Game Day.
Swing and a miss! He struck him out! Hello, Omaha! It'll be good to see you again. The Longhorns will return to the College World Series for the first time in 4 years.
Get ready as Texas baseball returns to Omaha for the College World Series.
Swings here and hits the ball well. This one out to deep right center. Back to the warning track. Say goodnight to it. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Here's your hosts, Mike Hardball Hardge and Jake Herman.
Folks, this isn't just another College World Series game. This is SEC royalty meeting in Omaha. Texas has 6 national championships. Georgia is trying to win its first title since 1950. The Longhorns bring great pitching. The Bulldogs bring the bats. But Georgia can score in bunches and hit the ball all over the ballpark. But Omaha has always favored the teams that can pitch and defend. That's why Texas and Georgia match up. If Dylan Volantis and the bullpen can control the strike zone, the Horns are going to be sitting in the winner's bracket, ready to roll again. Hook 'em and buckle up, folks, because this is going to be an Omaha classic. With that, I'm Mike Harbaugh Hardge. My boy Jake Herman, the producer, as our one and only Craig Way loves to say. And we're going to open the show going straight to Omaha and talk to the man himself, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, the one and only Craig Way, and the man, the myth, the legend, Keith Moreland. What's up, fellas?
Weather is a way to describe it. We've got some weather going on here, that's for sure. And that's probably what's going to keep things, I think, from starting on time, unfortunately. That's what we're looking at. It looks like right now we could be looking at a weather delay. The tarp is on the field right now. And in addition to the tarp being on the field right now, we've had some lightning in the area. We've had some rain in the area, that sort of thing. But we're hoping that we'll have some baseball here. One thing, Keith Moreland, that we always know about Omaha is they have one of the best grounds crews in the world, and they get this field ready, even though it's a natural grass surface, drains very well. They had they pulled the tarp on the minute while the rains come.
Yeah, they've got a lot of people to work it too. That's the other thing that you got to have. They know what they're doing, and then they've got personnel to try to get that done. It's interesting. You hate to get a stop. For those folks that are just tuning in, Oklahoma played really well earlier today and beat Alabama, just to bring people up to date. And then all of a sudden the skies opened up, and I was out in it trying to get in the building. So I'm trying to get dry, Hardge.
I totally understand that. And you guys, this is nothing new for Texas baseball fans. You get ready to play a big matchup, and all of a sudden the weather just kind of plays that part. And y'all spend a lot of time at the ballpark during those times. But for right now, with Omaha, the kids being there, everybody's excited. What do you think is going through the mind of these guys by being pushed back? Because you and I both know, Keith, routines are routines, and you like to stay in them.
Yeah, I don't think that – I think that they've gotten here earlier enough this week. They've worked out in different facilities. They've worked out on this particular field. I don't think that it'll do anything. Nobody has really got that gear up. The tough one, Hardge, and you played, the tough one is when you get hot, bothered, ready to go, mentally prepared to start to play a game, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, it's raining, stop. This happened long before these guys got really start getting their body ready. So when they give them that opportunity and that time, whenever they designate, hey, we're going to start the game, I think it's good for that reason. Did not ever like to have one stop and start right when you're playing. So at least this is before you started.
Yeah, just to let everybody know a little bit about what the teams did this morning, and what the team did this morning, and in preparation for the game. They actually left the state of Nebraska to get in a little work. Went right across the Missouri River into Council Bluffs, Iowa. There's a facility over there that they utilize. And what they've done is, since they've been here, as Keith mentioned, they were able to have about 50 minutes on the field on Thursday when everybody got their 50 minutes on the field, got some swings in, took a few ground balls and fly balls. And Jim Schlossnagle always talks about the importance of getting these guys accustomed to playing on dirt again. And so they did that on Thursday. Yesterday, they went over to Creighton University. Now, Creighton for years had this old, and Keith has seen it, rug, artificial turf. It was like the old rug at Dishwalk Field. It was the whole thing. You could drop a baseball and dust would fly up at it. Well, that's gone. They've got a brand new ballpark over there. It's still under construction. The grandstand, the main grandstand, is still under construction. But it's a brand new, pristine field turf surface. And they went over and took some fly balls and ground balls and had infield, outfield over there. But what was even more impressive is the indoor facility over there. And they went in there to hit in the cages yesterday. And they did a tremendous job, worked really hard in the cages yesterday. So they did. And then today, the plan all along was to go across the river to the one facility, an indoor facility there in Council Bluffs. And we had a huge thunderstorm going on this morning when they were on. So they were able to get inside. Then they went over to Creighton right before they came to the ballpark and hit in the indoor facility there because they knew the time was going to be limited. They were going to have to hit indoors here. And the facility here, believe it or not, it's smaller than the one at Creighton. The one at Creighton is very large. And so they were able to get in their swing. So they've been able to do that. Now, Keith, there's this waiting here. They've been able to get their swings. The team is here in the ballpark, but they're in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah, it's not I'm just telling you guys, it's really not a factor. The one is the factor is if we had started this game at 7 o'clock, and we still may, I don't believe we will with what I look back to what I think is the Northeast. I'm trying to still get my bearings on the way the ballpark sets, but the predominant wind is blowing in the face from left field right now, so that's out of the east. So I really feel like it'll be just fine for both clubs. They'll be ready to play because there's nothing happened to this point. They haven't pulled up their stirrups, they haven't strapped on their shoes, tied down their cleats, and get ready to go. And so they're ready. They would love to get it going. The setting, the longer it waits, the tougher it is.
Yeah. So that's how it is at the moment, fellas. And again, obviously, we'll let everybody know when we're going to start. And then, of course, when we get to, at a quarter hour before or after, when we get to the point, that's when we'll start the pregame coverage on 103.1 FM, as well as, of course, on the iHeartRadio app and the Texas Longhorns app and TexasLonghorns.com, the same places that you find Longhorn baseball throughout the course season. We'll do that, all the way through until we're ready to have a ball game here.
Well, guys, we saw quite the scene over at the hotel earlier when the team bussed over to the ballpark. From what you can tell right now, I know some of the fans might be taking cover, but what's the split that you can tell between Longhorn and Bulldog fans sticking this thing out?
No, there's no split because there's nobody in the ballpark, Jake. They just now have
opened the gates. Yeah, you can tell.
They have just now, as we speak, opened the gates. But to kind of answer your question, I think it'll be a healthy showing. That so far, the biggest crowd I've seen has been for Ole Miss, even more so than West Virginia. And West Virginia had a large fan contingent. I think it's only going to get larger with them in the winners bracket playing North Carolina tomorrow night. But Ole Miss had the largest fan turnout, I think, of all the teams to this point of 3 of the 4 games being played. Alabama had a good turnout. Oklahoma, for them, surprisingly good because they've had some years where they haven't had that many fans show up, but they gave such a good account of themselves today when they play Monday night. I'm sure they'll probably have more fans in the stands as well. But I would say there's going to be a lot. I've just around town, and I've been here since Wednesday. I've seen a lot of Georgia fans here. I've seen a lot of West Virginia fans here. And then, of course, I've seen in the hotel alone where the Longhorns are staying, I've seen fans of every team that's playing here in Omaha, all of them. Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas, Troy, and West Virginia. I've seen fans from all that. And then around town, you see like LSU fans because they always make it. I saw a Texas A&M fan here. So I've seen fans from just about all of the SEC teams and certainly all of the teams here that are here for the tournament in Omaha.
Talk about the matchup, because here you go with these two powerhouses with the Georgia Bulldogs, 51-12, Texas Longhorns, 45-13. Both of these teams are high level, a lot of talent, star-studded, both on the mound and, of course, at the plate. How do you figure this matchup looks? The paper looks great. That's why it's great at the prime time, but Texas versus the Georgia Bulldogs.
I'm going to leave the key matchup to Keith, and that's going to be Dylan Volantis against the Georgia offense. I will tell you this. Joey Bolchko, the right-hander that is starting for the Bulldogs, he's 10-2 and a 4.07 ERA. That said, and he's a guy that can have a power sink, and he can also throw the sweeper. In talking to Jim Schlossnagle, and we'll hear that on the game broadcast pregame coming up in a little bit. But a lot of his stuff is over the plate. And so you can get good swings on them. Mississippi State absolutely did that last week and knocked him out of the ball game. The difference was obviously what Georgia does, especially at home, knocked Mississippi State's pitching out of the ball game. And Keith, that's going to be the charge for Dylan Volantis to keep the ball down, especially with that northerly breeze. And normally we see the prevailing wind come from the south. Last few days with cooler weather, it's come from the northeast, and we may see some more of that tonight.
Yeah, the ball will travel pretty well to right to here. I mean, the ball doesn't jump in this ballpark. It is a legitimate baseball field. So that's going to be a little bit different for a team like Georgia that it plays in a very small ballpark. There's no question. But for me, it's how Dylan Volantis handles the bottom of this lineup. When you look at Hudson, Branch, and Black, and you say, wow, you take the bottom of the lineup because they are so good. And those top, these two teams marry each other so much offensively. They're both physical. They both can run when they need to run, and the top of their lineup is it's top heavy. So what happens to that is you may have a time where you go through that at the start of ball game. It may be a tough time. You might give up a run or two, but where they get big runs, and when Texas scores big runs, it's when the bottom third of the lineup sets the table. So my big key to the matchup, if I were to get a key, is how Dylan Volantis does in that against those bottom three guys in the Georgia lineup. That's Brendan Hudson, Colby Branch, and Ryan Black.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I cannot wait to hear you guys on the call. The voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, and my guy, Keith Moreland. Big Red and Craig have a great, great call. We'll send everybody to 103.1 FM to get you guys started for the big matchup. Thanks, guys.
All right. Hey, and Hardge, as soon as we know the definite start time on the game, we'll pass it along to you to pass it along to the listeners.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. There they are, the voices of the Texas Longhorn, our guy, Craig Way, and, of course, we've got Keith Moreland, Big Red, doing his thing. When we come back, we're going to talk about the coaches. There's a lot to go into this, and they both come with a lot of experience. Can Coach Schlossnagle get his first championship as a Texas Longhorn? We'll talk about it right here on the morning kickoff. The Longhorn Game Day, right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
And you can be there
For a weekend full of superstar performances.
Are you ready?
Once-in-a-lifetime moments you'll have to see to believe.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Only limited single-night tickets remain. Get yours while you still can now at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
The Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream is celebrating America's 250th One Dream at a Time. Sean Alexander's American dream began as a boy from Florence, Alabama, who turned backyard faith and hard work into record-breaking runs, a league MVP, and a legacy written in the end zone.
When I think about the American dream, I always want to remind people that the game's not over. I always tell people to finish the game. Don't be scared of the failures or the trials in one season because they're there, good or bad, for the next season. So many people quit or lose focus because of the season that they're in now. And I'm like, well, it's just a season. I've won championships and I've lost championships. And I thought, it was the same the next season. You have to start all over no matter what, I always want to encourage people, keep fighting that good fight, go after the next season, and then finish that game.
Discover more voices of the American Dream at mcaad.org.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Since 1936, Shipley Donuts has been a Texas tradition, and now Dripping Springs wakes up with them. Start your mornings right with fresh baked donuts, soft warm kolaches, and hot coffee made fresh daily at Shipley Donuts, located at 13341 West Highway 290 in Dripping Springs. They're open bright and early at 5 a.m. because at Shipley's, donuts don't just taste good, they make people happy. Skip the line and order ahead at shipleydonuts.com or on the Shipley's app. Start happy, stay happy.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Welcome back to Longhorns Game Day right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. Speaking of the iHeartRadio app, make sure you stay locked in with the iHeartRadio app because that's where you'll hear Craig Way on 103.1 FM. He's going to keep you up to date leading in to everything that's about to happen in this College World Series as the Texas Longhorns are making their way for their 39th appearance. And that, to me, says a lot about the program and the expectations. You know, people walk around and kind of really understand, wow, man, they didn't dogpile. They didn't do this when we're happy to go. Well, you know, they're expected to be there. As we said, this is their 39th appearance. They're trying to get their 7th championship. They lead the College World Series with games 1 and 88 overall tournament appearances with victories, tournament games, at 270 and the most appearances with 65 in the playoffs. So the Horns are making things happen. And how does this happen? The Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia with Wes Johnson in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, Jake. And he is somebody that has worked his way through it. He's been in the major leagues. He was at LSU, went and got his own gig, and now he has got his team in the College World Series.
Well, Hardge, you think about a guy, right, who started in the high school ranks, rose through the mid-major collegiate game as a pitching coach, was part of the DBU team, of course, that the Longhorns saw back in those mid-2010s, and then part of the Mississippi State and Arkansas teams in the latter part of that decade, goes to the Minnesota Twins, spends 3 years as a pitching coach in the big leagues. Then, in his return to the college game, develops Paul Skeens, part of that LSU 2023 national championship team. So the results have gotten better and better every year for him at Georgia. They've been, in the super regionals his first year, regionals last year. So now in year number 3 to take this program back to Omaha for the first time since 2008. I mean, this is a guy that's got a ton of momentum behind him right now.
Yep. And so he was able to address the crowd of reporters. And they were talking to him about his team and being excited to be in Omaha.
Yeah, just excited to be here. We just had a good little workout. We're really ready for, to play Saturday night. Kind of feels awkward that you, even though it's still just 1 week between games, sometimes it feels like an eternity, and our guys are chomping at the bits. And, we just want to get out there and start playing and continue, what we've been doing all year.
And you start to think about this. What they've been able to do is slug the baseball and outscore their opponents. We were talking before the show, and you gave me some stat that was really crazy when you sit back and you think about the way that they play baseball and what you need to do to counterpunch them.
Well, this Georgia team could score. There's no doubt about it. The pitching is obviously what puts them over the top. This offense is so good that every time they've held their opponent to 5 runs or less this season, they've won the ball game. 36-0 when Georgia holds their opponents to 5 runs or less. So if you're Texas tonight, and even though you got Dylan Volantis on the mound, the task is clear. You got to give yourself a chance by scoring in that 5+ run range.
You got to get to 6. The magic number is 6. And what we've seen from this Texas baseball team, led by head coach Jim Schlossnagle, who's in his second year at the University of Texas. And here he is, 89-27 with his time here. You start to understand the psyche of what Texas was able to do. You look at the beginning of the season, they started off 10-0. They went 14-4 in the month of March, went into a little trouble in April, but they rebounded in May and gone 10-4. And then so far in the regionals in the month of June, they were 2-0 when they got into the super regionals. So this Texas Longhorn team is prepared. They're locked in, and they're led by a guy who has a little bit of experience in Omaha.
Yeah, he's one of only 4 coaches, Hardge, to lead 3 different schools to the College World Series, right? 5 times at TCU, twice more at Texas A&M, and now in year 2, he gets this Longhorn team back to Omaha for the first time since 2022. We've seen throughout the year, right, Jim Schlossnagle manage aggressively and also manage pragmatically. You think about the 3-game series that Texas had. How many times were they able to bounce back from a Friday night loss and recover to win the series? That's a credit to what he's been able to do in setting up his bullpen for success in that 3-game series format all year long. It's no wonder he wants that format to continue all season long, because now you're essentially entering into another regional, and his managerial, dexterity is going to be tested again.
And that's something that I think is important for both of these coaches. I mean, this is the premier matchup. This is the matchup everybody's been talking about. No disrespect for all those that have already won, but this is a heavyweight boxing match right here. This is the glory of why this baseball is so exciting. That's why Coach Schlossnagle talked about the fact that the SEC is a grind. These are the 2 teams that finished 1-2 in the SEC, and now they have to go out there and battle each other. And one of these teams is going to have to go to the losers bracket and work their way back up to it. So here is Coach Schlossnagle with his opening statement to the room of reporters.
On behalf of the University of Texas, we're super excited to be here in Omaha for a 39th trip for our program. Congratulations to the 7 other teams, especially to our SEC brethren, and personally for me, congratulations to West Virginia. I'm from Western Maryland, and Randy Mazey, very dear friend and former assistant coach and former coaching staff member of mine that has done such an amazing job of building that program, and Coach Saban's kind of keep pushing it forward. So excited for the Mountaineers, but even more so for our team and our players to get here and play, and we're just fired up for Saturday night.
Got to be fired up for tonight. We're still going to see how this is going to play out, but this Texas team, I think, was built for Omaha. I think when you're putting a team together, you think about everybody that's in your conference, everybody that has shown to prove consistent work, and you try to build it. And I think Texas has built it, especially with all the things that happen in the SEC.
Well, it's a conference that we've talked all season long about how historically deep and strong it's been. And the results this postseason back that up, right? 5 SEC teams in Omaha. That's the most ever to come from a single conference. And yet that doesn't include any of the 5 SEC programs that have won national titles in the last decade. You've got, obviously, LSU and Vanderbilt aren't here. 2 of the longest regional streaks among all college baseball programs getting snapped. Mississippi State and Florida didn't make it to Omaha either. So this is a very deep league, a league with a lot of parity from top to bottom. And because of how this bracket is set up, they're guaranteed to have at least a 1-2 shot at national championship number 7 in a row.
And that is, to me, what everything, when people talk about the growth of the conference and the deepness, the depth of it, there is so much talent from each of these teams that every single week you have to play your best. And that's why he says you got to win 2 out of 3. You have to win 2 out of 3. And if you can put yourself in that position, and Texas has done that a lot, they find a way to get it done. And that's why I think this team is built for something special this year.
And Hardge, in this era of expanded conferences, there are still differences in your schedule. Georgia obviously played a very difficult SEC schedule, finishing 3.5 games ahead of Texas.
Right.
That's nothing to scoff at. But you also have to realize this. They didn't play Texas this year. They didn't play Oklahoma. They didn't play Alabama. So what does that mean now as we get to Omaha? Georgia doesn't have that familiarity that the other 3 teams in this bracket all share. Might that help them? Might that hurt them? I'm not sure.
Well, one thing is for sure, they're well-deserving. They're the ones that went wire to wire. You start to look at this SEC format, but more importantly, you look at the consistency in which they play. We can all talk about the ballpark that they play in, and I always used to say it to any other hitter, you're playing in the same ballpark on this weekend. Get yourself a couple home runs too. But you just go out there and you work, and they've constructed a great pitching matchup for tonight for both of these guys. Their aces are going to be the first ones to take the mound, but it's important because both of these teams come in hot and they understand what it's like to play in this type of moment.
And for Texas, right, it's getting off to fast starts to put pressure on. We saw that in the Super Regional, right? Giving Volantis that early run support, and obviously Volantis was able to work around some things, and we'll talk a little more about him later on, but working around a day where he didn't have his best stuff, how important was it for the offense to give him a lift early in that Super Regional series against Oregon? And as the road team tonight, I think Texas has that same opportunity.
They definitely do. When you look at what Aiden Robbins has been able to be in that leadoff position, obviously Carson Tenney and Anthony Pack Jr. have found ways to get it done. But the reemergence of an Adrian Rodriguez, the experience of Atemo Becerra and what he's been able to do. We've also saw Ethan Mendoza have some quality at-bats here lately. And then the one person who everybody's hoping to continue to get hot is Casey Borba. You thought it was going to turn for him when he hit that opposite field home run. It was a beautiful swing and got back in there. Then he hit the ball up the middle. He's had some good opportunities. So the bottom of the lineup, I know what Keith said about Georgia's bottom of the lineup facing Volantis. I would say the same thing for Texas's bottom of the lineup. Can they put pressure on Georgia to make quality pitches so they can also flip the lineup for themselves?
It's what you need, right? It's what you need to be able to go deep in a tournament like this. Contributions 1 through 9, even if you're not going to get the type of production from the bottom of your lineup as some of the other teams in Omaha. From a Texas perspective, they just need a moment or two from some of those guys hitting 5, 6, 7 and below.
We're rolling right here on Longhorns Game Day edition on Sports Radio on AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the superstars that we will see on the field tonight. Not just the pitchers, but the guys at the plate. Right here on Longhorns Game Day on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Hello,
Austin, it's Sandy.
And JB, and that still feels pretty great to say.
We're back on the radio together, and we're back where we belong.
Mornings in Austin talking about the city, your life, our lives, and whatever weird thing happened on South Congress.
This is home for us.
We live here, we know Austin, we love Austin.
And we want you back with us every morning.
Wake up with JB and Sandy from 6 to 10 on 98.1 KVET.
Austin's all-time country favorites.
98.1 KVET, an iHeart country station.
Available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Guaranteed human.
Your city deserves a safer, fairer ride. Fair.coop is coming soon with no surge pricing, no hidden fees, fair, transparent fares, and rides up to 20% cheaper. Drivers can earn up to 90%, and you can refer riders or drivers to earn free rides or commissions. Download now for the world's safest ride. Fair.coop, official partner of iHeartRadio. Download the app now at fair.coop/iHeart. That's FARE.coop/iHeart.
Work. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
In 1982, Atari players across the country settled into their shag carpeting. Homework went by the wayside, and so did sleep. These gamers only had one thing on their minds: Sword Quest. This wasn't just a new game. Epic and ambitious, the company promised $150,000 in prizes to 4 finalists, with the Sword of Ultimate Sorcery going to the grand prize winner.
Just got this, $3.35 an hour minimum wage job, and next thing you know, I got this freaking $25,000 prize.
But what started as a video game promotion would become one of the most controversial moments in 80s pop culture, with broken promises, urban myths, payoffs, and a central mystery that's consumed fans for decades.
I never ended up seeing these prizes in person.
How did all those prizes, valued at $150,000, become something of a lost treasure? I'm Jamie Loftus. Join us for The Legend of Sword Quest, a podcast about the fall of Atari and the disappearing Sword Quest prizes. We'll follow the quest for missing treasure across 4 decades. Listen to The Legend of Sword Quest on the iHeartRadio app.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
I just realized that the first letter of every line of this review spells help me.
It seems like everyone's a critic these days, blessing the world with our slightest opinions, all on our own mini platforms.
I have another user review here. It's impossible to get into the lives of characters.
Nope, it's entirely possible. That's the profession of filmmaking.
I hate Batman! And the only thing we have left to criticize is criticism itself. I'm Scott Janovitz.
And I'm Greg Conley.
Citizen Critic, a podcast where we will critique the critics and review the reviews of everything from movies, music, and television to toasters, toiletries, and paint colors.
We'll hear from the experts.
Here's my review. Coldness and heartlessness are undermining today's suspense movies. The end. Don't go see it. 0 stars. As well as from all the citizen critics out there. So we loved our experience here because I read all the reviews beforehand and did not stay, eat dinner, or officially tour here. 5 stars. We'll find some useful tips. This is in German. Do not buy unless you speak German. As you can tell from this review, I speak English. I'm not German. Because we won the war. Well,
and some pretty useless tips.
Oh, it has wall-to-wall profanity and vulgar language.
Can't you just make a movie about mobsters where they don't swear?
We'll uncover some startling truths. September 11th was still more than a week away.
He claiming Mr. Rogers had something to do with 9/11?
I think he's not claiming it. I think he's about to prove it, Greg. We'll go on a journey of self-discovery.
Night of the Comet is one of the greatest movies. Well, no, it's not, but I immediately back off that statement.
And confront our own shameful opinions.
Why should the pros who get, at least they get paid for it? I want to do this for free. Like my opinion on, what was that band that I really got out in front of?
The New Radicals.
The New Radicals. Yeah, I was like, I think this guy's the next Stevie Wonder. But mostly, it'll be a bunch of nonsense like this.
Yeah, use Bing.
Use Bing. Let me Bing it.
Yeah, I'm going to Bing this. Bing? Bing. Find Citizen Critic on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Longhorns Game Day right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. The Texas Longhorns and the Georgia Bulldogs are in Omaha, Jake, but they don't always appreciate the journey when people see it. These two teams are not Cinderella stories. They are two SEC heavyweights that have took completely different roads to get here. As Jake mentioned, these two teams have not met in the regular season, yet they are both in the SEC. Texas during the regular seasons rolled to a 45-13 record under the watchful eye of one Coach Jim Schlossnagle. Elite team, they ended up getting the national 6th seed, and then they hosted in the Austin Regional. They were hitting on all cylinders. We knew that they were going to be excited because of Anthony Pack Jr., the young freshman, who, by the way, got Freshman of the Year, led by Carson Tenney and Aiden Robbins. Oh, and don't forget, Sam Kozart, National Freshman of the Year pitcher, and he just got Stopper of the Year as well. He closed the door in the bullpen. Texas went through the Austin Regional, a lot of explosiveness. They went to the Super Regional against Oregon, great pitching, got a little challenge in the 6-5 Game 2 battle, but they got it done. So Texas's journey was a little bit different than Georgia's. And I'll tell you Georgia's in a second, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the Texas journey to the College World Series.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway from Texas's road here is the ability to win in multiple ways. It's going to serve them well however long their stay in Omaha is, and it's something that served them well throughout the season in the SEC. They were able to feel equally comfortable in a slugfest or in a very well-pitched game where they can manufacture a timely run or two. And we saw that in the 8th inning of that Game 2 in the Super Regional on Adrian Rodriguez's clutch 2-run double.
That's why as you start to look at this team, you're getting guys back, not fully healthy, but comfortable enough in their positions to deliver those big moments. And speaking of those big moments, the regular season for the Georgia Bulldog was one that was record-setting. You start to look at the numbers that they put up. They were 51-12, led from wire to wire, and outlasted the Texas Longhorns. They won the SEC regular season title. They also won the SEC tournament title, and they are definitely one of the hottest teams rolling into Omaha. They got a National Player of the Year, but as a team, they lead the nation with 174 home runs.
I mean, they've hit 23 bombs in the postseason.
And that is utterly ridiculous.
And they played the minimum 5 games.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Right. And you think about this team led by Daniel Jackson, who will probably win the Golden Spikes Award, which will probably be announced here in a couple hours, maybe. You never know about that. But this is a guy that has done an unbelievable job of not only being the catcher of this team, catching this team, catching these pitchers, but at the plate, he is one of the most feared hitters in the country. And that's why both of these teams in this matchup got here a little bit different.
It's the combination, right, of the power and the speed. Georgia hit 3 homers per game. Obviously, you're going to start there when you think about how Georgia got here. It's on the strength of the long ball. They hit 24 more homers, Hardge, than anyone in the sport this year. Oklahoma State was in second with 150 homers. You look at the teams who made it to Omaha. Ole Miss is 63 behind. That's the closest team.
63, you heard them.
I mean, some teams hit 63 homers in a season. Some players, if they're really good, hit 63 homers in a career.
Right.
So that's the type of home run power we're talking about. You almost can't go into a game against Georgia and expect anything less than 2 homers.
No doubt. And that's why it's interesting when you heard about the way the wind is blowing in Omaha, and I look at this team and I say, yes, they got a ton of power, but they got some swing and miss as well. They got multiple hitters with 20 or more home runs, but they can swing and miss as well. But when they do get on the bases, they can run too. So you got to nullify their running game as well as some of that power that they show.
And it's like Keith Moreland said, you got to keep hitters 7, 8, and 9 off the base paths, right? Because that's where your pitch count can climb. That's where that's where those home runs are going to hurt you quite a bit more. And look, no one exemplifies the power and speed combination quite like Daniel Jackson, the league's Triple Crown winner, hit 396, 31 homers, 86 ribbies, and what was it, 26 steals? this season. That's just unbelievable for a catcher. They were asking Carson Tinney in the pregame press conference, have you, are you faster? He was really backing away from making those types of comparisons, just showering praise that other direction because, when it comes to the two catchers in this game, you don't see very many come in with the type of tools that these two do.
Yeah, and that's, to me, is going to be the story. Both of these guys really good behind the plate, can nullify the running game. And Coach Schlossnagle talked about them a little bit, about Carson Tinney and about Daniel Jackson.
Daniel played last year, and I actually got to shake his hand earlier when we were doing the media stuff, and very impressive young man, good eye contact, good handshake, and we had just a real brief conversation, but he certainly had an amazing season and very deserving of the Golden Spikes Award or whatever he's going to win moving forward. But yeah, Tinney has been incredible. You never really know till you coach him. He's caught really well. He's gotten better as both a defensive and offensive player. But where he's really grown is as a leader on our team, and he takes a lot of pride in playing at Texas. And that's no disrespect to Notre Dame, but he really loves being a Longhorn, and that means a lot at Texas, as you know specifically. And so. That's just he started the season trying to live up to some expectation and put a lot of extra pressure on himself. And I think once he finally found his own voice, his voice within the team, and the confidence from his teammates, then he kind of relaxed, and now we're seeing the best version of him.
And that version continues to deliver, and that is why Carson Tinney is one of the guys to watch in this World Series. He's got a big name, he's got a big bat, and now he's ready for the challenge. Omaha it is, folks. The Longhorns are back, and they will be taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll get more of the latest update about game times because there is some weather that is there, but we'll get you all locked in and loaded right here on Longhorns Game Day on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on that iHeartRadio app. DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app now is live in Texas. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code AM1300. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code AM1300. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issue in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms dkng.com/predictions promo.
At a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This July 4th, come celebrate at America's Block Party, hosted by America 250. America's Block Party is a can't-miss 4th of July concert happening at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Experience music performances from major artists, patriotic tributes, and the kickoff to Giving Forth, helping to make July 4th the largest day of giving in American history. It's more than just fireworks. Learn more about this landmark celebration at america250.org.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Joy is essential and it's also elusive. But now there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. It's a new podcast hosted by me, Hoda Kotb. If you're craving inspiration to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Joy 101, and listen now. Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb is presented by CVS.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kind of love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers, but you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org/OH. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Longhorns Gameday right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. The Texas Longhorns will be taking on the Georgia Bulldogs tonight in Omaha in their first game in the College World Series.
Oh, I'm ready, Hardge.
We are all locked in and ready to go.
You know, we had to watch all the other teams, 6 other teams we sat here and watched the last 2 days, and now just waiting patiently.
And we're going to have to wait a little while because the weather is inclement there. So we're waiting to get a time, and we'll let you know right before we get off the air. But make sure you get over to 103.1 FM, the Austin's 80s station, where you can hear Craig Way, Keith Moreland, and Coach Schlossnagle and his pregame with Craig over there, and they'll let you know everything that will be going on, and that's where you can listen to the game. You can always get it on the iHeartRadio app as well. One of the biggest stories of the season is the role that Dylan Volantis has been able to play here at the University of Texas. If you remember, he was the closer last year for this Texas Longhorns baseball team. And then this season, we knew he was going to be in the starting role, but they moved him to Sunday. Everybody initially thought he was going to be a Friday night guy. Probably would have initially been, but some other things were put in place. Dylan Volantis, it was a rainy night in College Station that he did not get a chance to pitch. And then the next weekend, because he had had so many days off, they decided to put him in the Friday night role, one that he thought he was born for, and he seemed to really ascend with his pitching. And he returns to one of the best roles in this team. And Luke Harrison, Mr. UT, had an opportunity to talk about Dylan Volantis and watching his growth this season.
Yeah, I think the biggest kind of evolution for Dylan, obviously all the physical tools have been there, and the mental ability to take the ball and go throw strikes and not be intimidated or distracted, that's always been there. But I think the biggest growth for him has been just his maturity away from the field. There were some times early last year where it was like he was a kid, because he was an 18-year-old kid coming onto campus, and he definitely needed some guidance. But just to see how far he's come in terms of taking care of himself and his daily preparation and his routine, it's been really cool to see, and I'm very proud of him for that.
It's the best guidance you got as a ball player at that age, Hardge.
Well, I mean, you think about that, and you're 18 years old, and you're on top of the world. There were so many things that were happening for him last year that was such a positive and well-deserved, and he worked his behind off for it. But he was 18. You're going to do some young things and have some fun and do some different things every single day. But watching him step into this role and make the most of it, and he's taking it to the next level. And that's why one Carson Tenney, when he too had to talk about Dylan Volantis, and the thing about them both, he was a new guy. He was a transfer. He got a chance to see it up close and personal, and he was his catcher.
I would honestly just second what Luke said. Even since the fall, I think he's grown significantly in his maturity. I got to watch him on TV last year. I didn't get to play with him, but obviously the skill set's there, and it's been present all year. But watching him grow as a human and just how much he loves baseball is what makes him so good.
That, to me, is everything you need to know. And that's why I think this team has shown a lot of connectivity this year. You know, when it's tough sometimes when you bring in big name transfers, but you also have a big name yourself. And who's going to be the one to kind of make sure all these things mesh together? And then you talk about bringing in a young freshman who probably would have been the fourth outfielder if Jonah Williams wouldn't have been injured. He might have found his way in there because he was consistent. But watching Anthony Pack Jr., excuse me, this season, and watching his level go higher and higher and higher, but staying even keel as a young player, going back to the 18-year-old. There's some things in there, but his maturity level and his consistency has shined all season long.
I can't believe this guy's not a bigger star. Right. Both in Austin and in the college baseball world at large. And I know MLB folks maybe don't like to pay attention before guys are close to being eligible, but what this guy has come in and done as a freshman, I mean, you saw it right from the jump in the postseason, that Holy Cross game, the 3 home runs, obviously had to leave the game with the cramps, which was unfortunate. Saw Gumbo come in, hit a grand slam in his spot.
Right.
What he has done for this team has allowed everyone else to slot into the perfect roles. Right. You think about the way the outfield defense has been set up now, what he's brought with his bat from that corner position, and what he's brought in the middle of the order, allowing Jim Schlossnagle to put some power hitters down lower in that batting lineup like a Casey Borba.
And you look at what he's been able to do in the lineup himself. He started off in right field, played some left field. He started off at the bottom of the lineup, got into the middle of the lineup. Now he's batting in the first inning as a true freshman. He batted .400 in the SEC this season, led the SEC as a true freshman, and each game never changed his demeanor. Everything was the same. He balled out one day, he balled out the next day, he balled out third. He was just a consistent piece that a lot of folks truly have to understand. He is a freshman, so you still got him for 2 more years.
Freshmen don't hit 400 in conference play.
All right.
That's what Anthony Pack Jr. did. Also, you get to Omaha, but I guarantee you we won't get 2 innings into the broadcast tonight, whether it's Craig, whether it's Keith, or whether it's the guys over on the TV side. He's not a freshman anymore.
Right. He's not a freshman anymore, and he proved that after that first week. So this Texas team is loaded. The Georgia Bulldogs are loaded as well. But there's just something about this matchup that just keeps hitting at me. And the one thing that I keep looking at is Dylan Volantis being able to throw strikes, not giving up the big hits, and Texas being able to play good defense. I think Texas is built for this. And you said that number that you have to get to beat them is 6.
Yeah.
You get over 6, you got a good chance of beating them. There's an opportunity. I see Texas probably winning this game tonight 6-4.
If there's somebody to break that trend, it's Dylan Volantis, right? Because there are a few pitchers in the SEC, in college baseball, that can pound the bottom part of the strike zone with the fastball, right? The way Volantis does, and then get so many ground ball outs with the curve, so many off-balance swings. And he'll need both of those pitches working tonight as well as he has all season. He'll need good infield defense behind him because this is a Georgia team that, yes, while they have the swing and miss, if they get runners on, they can make you pay more than anybody else, like we discussed earlier on. So I'm so excited. It's strength on strength. A guy that's allowed 2 homers all year, playing in the best conference in the country, and a team that's hit more homers than anybody in divisions 1 through 6 of baseball.
You start to look at it, and again, we keep talking about the power that you see from Georgia. Well, let's not forget the Texas offense has power as well. You look at what Aiden Robbins was able to do this season. You see a Carson Tenney relaxing, letting it fly. We've already talked about Anthony Pack Jr. and him exploding on the scene. You start looking at this Texas baseball team, they're in a great spot, and they have a lot to get into. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Longhorns Game Day. We'll have another edition of it on Monday, but will it be in the afternoon or will it be in the evening? The Texas Longhorns will let us know that tonight, but make sure you get over to 103.1 FM.
Yeah, we just got word, Hardge, 7:30 airtime, 7:45 first pitch. That's coming from Craig Way.
There you go. We're locked and loaded and ready to go. So stay locked in. Get over to that iHeartRadio app, 103.1 FM, the Austin's 80 station. Make sure you tune in to Craig Way and Keith Moreland. For Jake Herman, I'm Hardball Hardge. And just remember this, folks, don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app